David Craig impacted my life both professionally and privately. I still see him, this elegant reed of a man. He was so stylish. He had such command of the language. He had a wit that was incredible. And sometimes his humor verged on the brutal. I was up there singing I Got Lost in His Arms. And I finished. And he said, "Linda Glick, you really do cut air up there. However, when you curl your lip like that on the ah, you look like a horse whinnying. Can you possibly not do that?" And I never did it again. So I wanted to tell you about how I apply this. I apply David's work to non-singers. I mean, I use it in my own musical performances and auditions, but people come to me who are either in the profession and are working on monologues, or they are in the, what Charlie Callis used to call civilians, who are outside of our profession, and they may be in sales or they may be in the corporate world. And if you have read the statistics, public speaking ranks second only in fear to dying. People are terrified to get up and speak. They really are. And so they will come to me just hysterical about having to get up and make a presentation, do a sales pitch, do a monologue, and more and more I find that I've been using so much of David's technique. A lot of it has already been said, which I don't want to necessarily repeat, but yes, walking onto the stage, walking into a room, he had us do this over and over and over, and it's amazing how that first moment of coming out into a room, whether it's a conference room or a room for 1,000 people, people see you right away. And whether it's an ingratiating smile that he used to dislike, why are you smiling? You're just walking out on stage. So we talk about entrances. We talk about taking in the space where you are and how much you displace or disrupt the space by your height and by your width. And we've already spoken about places where you can hide, whether your focus is too high or your focus is too low. I work with people from the feet up, that their base either makes them seem fragile and you know, a little bit insecure, or if they're too wide, it's a bit too confrontational, so we talk about that. He talks about panning the room, of looking everywhere and seeing nothing, and then focusing and finding a center focus where you really do zero in almost razor sharp, and your base would change for that, so that your verticality rises, that's the important moment.
Can you define the use of the word base?
Yes, absolutely. So your base is where you're standing, literally like this. Generally, it's accepted that you're shoulder width, so that your alignment is all together. And if you're this way, obviously it seems a bit fragile. If you're this way, you know, it's like I want to bring on the troops. So just a nice, easy, with a slight bend in the knee, where you're not jutted out, where your head can feel as if you've got a slight string holding you there, so that you can move this way, you can move this way. You can have a focus here, you can have a multi-focus, but you're not rigid. There's nothing that is holding you rigid, and you can have that diaphragmatic breathing. He was all about breath and support and projection and clarity. And this, I find that he talked about something called the dying fall, which it's like a thing today, where people will talk, and Larry talks about this all the time. Thank goodness. For me, the two people who have impacted my life the most as far as a professional in this field are David Craig and Larry Moss. There's nobody like him today. No one. Yes. So this feeling of falling off at the end of sentences, where you can't hear the end of the sentence. So in singing, that's the phrase that's got to carry out to the ends of the theater. But in speech, whether or not it's a monologue or it's a presentation, they'll start with, and say, what did you say? So he talked about that. That I bring into this as well. I want to make sure that I'm covering most of this. So much of it's already been said. And that what we work with, I work with, content is the least for me as well. It's not the words. It can be as dry as can be, but it's what's underneath it. It's the meaning that you attach to the words from your own life, your own personalization. Yes, coming into the room, I will say, yes, this is a story about me. I want to share with you. I want to tell you. I want to inform you. I want to sell you something. So that's all David. And I thought, again, the vamp is like a setup. The verse is the intro. The chorus is the body of the speech. You have an arc and a climax before the ride out, which is really the wrap-up in a corporate presentation. So it's very, very much like David. This was something he wrote, marrying text to meaning. I have them put in breath marks. And the air that's in between your thoughts is so important. And then they get very jittery and nervous and fidgety. And I said, it's okay to just wait. It's all right to take a moment and breathe and think about the next thought. Because that was another thing I remember he used to say, well, if your actions follow your words, you really look crazy. And that's true in presentations too. And yes, the hands seem to come up all around here. So there are tricks about keeping your body language further down. Pull up, darling, he used to say. Pull up, pull up. Transitions, finishing one thought before moving on to another. Framing a thought. That's all David. There was a quote of his that I thought was brilliant, and because we are trying to get people's attention. And he said, demand attention with your thoughts. So he wrote in his book, anything and everything that is artful and organic should be considered when its intention is to achieve interest. And for me, that's one step, one layering at a time that comes together in this one seamless, alive, vibrant, dynamic, riveting, vocally dynamic performance. And that's with or without music. So that's mine.